Sorry, translation and the purport.
Devotees, please raise your hands, whoever wish to read. Sharmila Mataji, please read the shloka. I'll read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Sutvatasutan navanuvatsaram graha eva pahaya purva chittirbhuya eva jam devam upattaste. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Mataji, translation also.
Okay. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purva Chitti gave birth to these 9 sons, one each year. But after they grew up, she left them at home and again approached Lord Brahma to worship him. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Rishabhanu Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. There are many instances in which Apsaras, heavenly angels, have descended to this earth by the order of a superior demigod like Lord Brahma and or Lord Indra, have followed the demigod's order by marrying someone and giving birth to children, and have then returned to their celestial homes. For example, after Menka, the celestial woman who had come to delude Vishwamitra Muni, gave birth to the child Sakuntala. She left both the child and her husband and returned to the heavenly planets. Purvasiti did not remain permanently with Maharaj Agnidra. After cooperating in his household affairs, she left Maharaj Agnidra and all 9 sons and returned to Brahma to worship him. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Next.
Sharmila Mataji, you can read the shloka and the translation.
Hare Krishna. Agnidra sutaste matur anugrahad autpattike naiva samhanana balopeta pitra vibhakta atmatulya namani yata bhagam jambu dvipa varshani bubujuhu. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because of drinking the breast milk of their mother, the 9 sons of Agnidra naturally had strong, well-built bodies. Their father gave them each a kingdom in a different part of Jambudvipa. The kingdoms were named according to the names of the sons. Thus, the sons of Agnidra ruled the kingdoms they received from their father. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shilpa Mataji, would you like to read the purport? Divya Desai Mataji, anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read the purport.
Thanks, Mataji.
Hare
Purport
Krishna.
by Srila
You
Prabhupada.
called out my name? Hare
Shilpa Mataji, would you like to read the purport?
Yes, Mataji, I'll read Hare Krishna. Sorry,
Hare
I couldn't unmute. That purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna. The Acharya specifically mentioned that in this verse, the words Mataha Anugrahat, by the mercy of their mother, refer to the breast milk of their mother. In India, it is a common belief that if a baby is fed his mother's milk for at least 6 months, his body will be very strong. Besides that, it is mentioned herein that all sons of Angidra were endowed with the nature of their mother. Bhagavad Gita 1.40 also declares Strishu Dustashu Varnashne Varshneya Jayate Varna Shankara. When a woman are polluted, Varna Shankara, unqualified children, are generated. And when the Varna Shankara population increases, the entire world becomes hellish. Therefore, according to Manu Samhita, a woman needs a great deal of protection in order to remain pure and chaste, so that her children can be fully engaged for the benefit of human society. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can you continue the shloka and translation also?
Hare Krishna, yes. आग्रीद्रो राजा तृप्तः कामानाम् अप्सरसमेवानुदिनम् अधिमन्यमान स्तर स्तस्याः सको सलोकतां श्रुतिभिरवारुद्ध यत्र पितरो मादयन्ते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After Purvachitti's departure, King Angitra, his lusty desires not at all satisfied, always thought of her. Therefore, in accordance with the Vedic injunctions, the king, after his death, was promoted to the same planet as his celestial wife. That planet, which is called Pitralok, is where the Pitas, the forefathers, live in great delight. Mataji, purport also?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, thank you.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If one always thinks of something, he certainly gets a related body after death. Maharaj Angidra was always thinking of Pitralok, the place where his wife had returned. Therefore, after his death, he achieved that same planet, probably to live with her again. Bhagavad Gita also says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Bhagavad Gita 8.6. We can naturally conclude that if we always think of Krishna or become fully Krishna conscious, we can be promoted to the planet of Golok Vrindavan where Krishna eternally lives. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Rishabhanu Mataji, you can read the shloka and translation.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Mataji, sorry, you're not audible, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam, Mataji. It's okay, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
संपरेते पितरि नवभ्रातरो मेरु दुहितृ मेरु देवी प्रतिरूपाम् अग्रदष्टिं लतां रम्यां श्यामां नारी भद्रा देववीतिम् इति संज्ञां नवोदवहन्. Translation by Shri Prabhupada ki jai. After the departure of their father, the 9 brothers married the 9 daughters of Meru, named Marudevi, Pratirupa, Ugra, Damstri, Lata, Ramya, Syama, Nari, Bhadra, and Devavritti. Purport. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedant purport of the 5th canto, 2nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Activities of the Maharaj Agnitra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सारजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, thank you all once again, all the devotees assembled here. Please accept my humble obeisances. Uh, uh, Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. And I can see that you already came to the 5th canto. That's such a great achievement. I hope all of you are regularly joining and reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam every day. And I hope very soon you will all finish all the 12 cantos, because if you're going at this speed, because I remember in the last 1 year or less than a year, maybe you all finished so much. I remember giving classes from, I think, some 2nd canto or 3rd canto, but you're already there in the 5th canto. That's a great achievement. So if you associate with the devotees and read Srimad Bhagavatam. It's easy for you to finish Srimad Bhagavatam, or it is not that it is not the mood that we have to finish Srimad Bhagavatam. The mood is that at least we have to finish one time and then read it again and again so that we can develop the taste and love for Srimad Bhagavatam. So with that note, we will start. So we are in fifth canto and second chapter. The chapter titled The Activities of King Agnidhara. Agnidhara was whose son?
Chinabhi.
Priyavrata.
Very good. Priyavrat Maharaj's son. And we are reading this, which dynasty or which lineage we are saying?
Swayambhuva Manu.
Very good. Somebody said Swayambhuva Manu. That's perfect. So Swayambhuva Manu lineage is coming through how?
Brahmaji.
No. Correct. That's correct. But
Tanapada.
what are the lineage that you remember? The names that you remember in the lineage?
So I'll try, Prabhu. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Try. Nothing wrong.
So it is Swayambhuva Manu. He has 5 kids. Priyavrata Maharaj, Uttanapata, Ahuti, Prasuti, and
Devahuti.
Devahuti. Mataji, you can continue.
Very good.
Hare Krishna. So Priyavrata Maharaj is okay. Uttanpat Maharaj's son is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj's son is Prithu Maharaj. I'm sorry, Prabhu.
Correct.
And then Prithu Maharaj's son was King Vena.
Yeah.
And King Vena's son, I'm forgetting the name. He was a good king. King Vena. King Vena's son was a good king. King Vena was not a good ruler. So I'm missing the link in
Prithu
between.
Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj.
Yeah. Prithu Maharaj
Prithu
came
Maharaj
after King Vena.
King
was
Vena's
Vena's.
King Vena's body, from the King Vena body, Prithu Maharaj was turned out. Okay. And then
Mataji, if anybody can continue the
somebody
lineage.
want to add something? Okay, we saw one great personality. I think some of you missed in this dynasty, that Dhruva Maharaj, right? Dhruva Maharaj was also in the same dynasty, and
Hare Krishna, I said Dhruv Maharaj, Prabhu.
oh, she said, okay, maybe I missed.
Hare Krishna.
So Dhruva Maharaj, after that only the King Vena and all they came, and then they the Prithu Maharaj comes, and then after the Dhruva Maharaj also the Prachetas comes, the story of Prachetas. I hope you all must have read and enjoyed the pastimes of the Prachena Barhi and the sons, the Prachetas. And now in that lineage, as we continuing in that lineage, we saw, because when everybody, there's no ruler to, because after that Uttanapad, because Priyavrata Maharaj, he left. He doesn't want to be in the he doesn't want to be in the material association. He doesn't want anything material. So he left his whole kingdom and he went to some secluded place, and he was doing tapasya. He wanted to do only devotional service. And then later, when there was no able ruler in the kingdom, so then Brahma wanted that Priyavrat Maharaj return to the kingdom and take over the kingdom and rule the kingdom. And that's how, I hope most of you would have seen this pastime, would have heard this pastime. I'm not going, deep into that. So then Priyavrat Maharaj came, and then in that lineage of Priyavrat Maharaj, this king, Agnidhara. The Priyavrat Maharaj's direct son is Agnidhara. Agnidhara, you in this chapter, this is a very small chapter, like only 23 slokas in this. So we already finished this chapter. So if you see King Agnidhara, because later we will see, okay, I'll come to that. So the King Agnidhara activities are not, very too much, not like Dhruva Maharaj. So if you see, he was ruling the kingdom, the Jambudvipa, which has later become the Bharatavarsha. Initially originally it was called as Jambudvipa, and then later it has become Bharatavarsha. Now we call it as Bharatavarsha. If you see, these details of Jambudvipa is coming later in this chapter. Sorry, later in this canto, I think after a few chapters, you will see the description of Jambudvipa also. This fifth canto is particularly gives a lot of information about how the planetary systems and how it was divided, how it is positioned, everything you will see in that. So King Agnidhara is a direct son of Priyavrat Maharaj. And then what happened? He had a desire to have son, and then he was sitting and meditating on a hill, and then Brahmaji understood the intention. Then he sends Purvachiti. Purvachiti was a heavenly. She's from the heavenly planet. She's one of the kind of Apsara. She is one of the dancer in the assembly of Brahma, and she is also from the heavenly planet. And then she was sent, and then she came, and then Agnidhara, became attached. When he opened his eyes from his meditation, he saw that how she was beautiful, and then he flattered Purvachiti, and Purvachiti also, fell in love with Priyavrat Maharaj, and they got married, and then they lived for how many years together? Anybody remember? How many years they lived? Prabhupada writes in the one of the translation, it is there. How many years they lived? 100 million years. Okay. So that's, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So 100,000 years, sorry, 100 million years they lived. And then Puruchiti gave birth to 9 sons. Okay. And then she left home. Okay. So in this purport, so we are coming to this sloka now, 20. So in this one, if you see, after giving birth to 9 sons, Purvachiti, she, she left, after they, of course, she waited for them to grow up. And then when they grew up, she left, and then she went back to her heavenly planet. So she was worshipping Brahma, and she was like a servant of Brahma. And Brahma instructed her to come do this, service. And then she finished, she went back home to her planet. Okay. So Prabhupada in this purport, Prabhupada writes that Purvachiti came by the order of the authority, who is Brahma here. Okay. And this happens many times. In the Bhagavatam, if you see, many times, many apsaras, they come and they uh, do certain activities, and then they go back. Um, in the ninth canto, I don't know, most of you must have heard the story of Pururava. There was a king called Pururava. He was very much attracted to Urvashi. Urvashi came to do certain thing, and then he became very attracted to Urvashi, and then after some time, Urvashi went back, and then he could not, tolerate the separation of Urvashi. And then he also went to that planet where Urvashi was staying. And then he spent a lot of time with Urvashi, Pururava, King Pururava. And then he realized that the sense enjoyment is nothing but a fire. You're trying to satisfy the senses is like fueling the fire. And then he gave up, he came back, and then he did tapasya. He understood devotional service is the ultimate goal, and then he, attained, he perfected his life. So like that, this apsaras, they come on the order of certain authorities. Like, for example, who was that? Menaka. Menaka came to delude Vishwamitra. Is that Menaka? Yeah. And that's they are coming either by the order of Brahma or by the order of Indra, because Indra most of the times he sends the apsaras because he is envious, but Brahma sends it's not because he was envious about someone, but he is sending to fulfill the desire of devotee. For example, this king Agnidra was coming in a very great lineage, and he was having a desire. Because, and again, of course, it's not illegitimate desire. He is a king, and he must have sons. The Kshatriyas, they must have sons. That's why they marry. The Kshatriyas are allowed more than one wife in the ancient time. In Navato, there is no proper Kshatriya only. So that's not applicable now. But in the ancient time, Kshatriyas are allowed to have more than one wife, because the Kshatriyas are supposed to, give birth to more sons, so that there is enough people in the kingdom to rule. Prabhupada also quotes in somewhere in the purport. You see the British in the British kingdom. There also is the same. The son will come to the power. The son will become the king. The son will become the king, like that. The lineage will come. But at one point there was no king. Then the queen, the Elizabeth became the queen. So that's like change in the system. So that's why the the Vedic system does not accept a woman to become a king. Like, in the modern day, that's all changed. But in the the Vedic system, the woman, they are not allowed to become or sit in the throne to rule the kingdom. Only the sons are allowed to rule. So that's why they have enough children. So here also you see this Agnidra, he was having a desire to get a suitable son, so that the sons can continue the lineage. Let's go to 21. And then here it talks, Prabhupada talks about the breast milk. Okay. So now in the modern days, in the Kali Yuga, everything is upside down. I hope you must have read this purport, so I'm not going to read it again. So mother milk, when the child is born, at least Prabhupada writes here, for 6 months, I think in the purport, at least for 6 months. It's not that 6 months only. तो हाँ Prabhupada बोला है 6 months लिखा है, but 6 months के लिए I will feed my child. No, he's saying at least 6 months. It could be more, but nowadays what happens in mostly in India, because we are our women's, or you go to some cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, and some places where there's very cosmopolitical city. Then people dress up like Westerners, because there's a lot of influence of the Western culture in India. And the same thing is also with the pregnancy, and also the parenthood or the motherhood. So as soon as the child is born, there's so many people, they don't want to give milk. They want to feed something artificial, like that's available in the store. that's made by men. The mother milk is so natural and so nourishing for the child. The child gets all the health, all the immune, everything is coming from the mother's milk. So that's why Prabhupada says the minimum 6 months. It could be more also, but olden days it was like sometimes, like if you read the the Damodar Leela, Mother Yashoda was feeding Krishna at the age of three and a half. The Damodar Leela, if you remember, that Krishna was hungry, then mother started feeding her. And that was there for a long time, maybe around 50, 60 years also, women used to, feed for a longer time. But nowadays it has become like a taboo. Oh, because why people become more concerned about their beauty and their, the body, because that's basically the bodily conception of life. People, the woman, they want marriage, but either they don't want to have son or children, and they want to, even if they want to get a child, only one child, and that also they don't want to feed milk, because they think that by feeding milk I will lose my bodily beauty. But as a mother, it is very, very important that one must have enough children and feed them with mother milk. Nowadays, even if, for example, if any child who's born, uh, what is that? That early delivery, like, or sometimes the child is born before the
Premature. Premature.
premature, correct. The premature babies, they are also given sometimes, mother milk. Sometimes what happens, the mother gives delivery, and the mother, like, due to some complications, unfortunately, sometimes what happens, the mother passes away. The child is the child is just born. What happens? Some other mother milk is fed. Like some other mother, they are, were kind enough. Whoever is able to give milk, that mother will feed the child. So the mother milk is very, very important for the child, and every single devotee in ISKCON, that they should understand what is the mood of Srila Prabhupada, and they should, if you're busy, uh, many women are working. That's nothing wrong, but as much as possible, one should give time and care to the newborn baby. That's another reason, because people are giving birth to a child within 1 week, or or maybe nowadays in India, like 2 months, after 3 months, their what is that? The maternity leave is finished, and then they have to go to work. And when they go to work, they cannot feed the milk. They cannot feed the children. So then naturally they were given some other milk which is coming from the store. So that's whatever possible way we should try to, devotees in ISKCON, in Krishna consciousness, they should try to give that attention and the care for the newborn babies. In the second paragraph, or in the second part of the proper talks about the Varna Shankara. I hope most of you know about this Varna Shankara. And Prabhupada is talking about why the woman need protection. Okay, is quoting Manu Samhita, and then he tells a woman needs a great deal of protection in order to remain pure. Okay, so who are the 5 people they need protection? 5 category.
Women, old
Father.
people, children,
Children.
cow, and
Okay.
the Mother Earth.
Mother Earth can protect herself. We don't have, we only talks about protection about the Mother Earth can
Protects
protect.
us rather.
Yeah, she is the one who's protecting us. We are
Yes.
dependent on her, not she is depending on her, on
So
us.
children, old people, women, brahmanas,
Okay.
and cow.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Why old people are requires protection? Because they cannot, they're old. When somebody becomes invalid, there must be care and love. But what is happening in the Kali Yuga, when somebody becomes old, they are left in the, what is that? That homes, that old age homes. Even the mother, even the son and the the daughter-in-law were uh, able to keep them, but they see them as a burden rather than giving them the care and the attention. And then what they do, they drop them. Nowadays, you see the olden, in the recent 20 years, so many old age homes, coming up in different names. That's it's not called as old age homes nowadays, because if you tell them that's a old age home, then it is, the people think, oh, this guy, see how cruel he's left his father and mother in the old. But rather, some places they build apartments particularly for this purpose, and people living in the abroad and living in, even living in India, they don't want to keep their old father and mother. What they do, they buy an apartment there, and there they drop them, and there what is happening, everything is taken care. Like for them, there is a central kitchen, there is a temple, there is a facility for going walk, there is a recreation club. It's like a modern old age home. Instead of leaving them in a four wall room, they are living in this kind of places, and this becoming a very big business. I think it's all over there in India. So uh, the old age people needs protection, children needs protection. Children is um, has to be protected. You see this what is this, what's happening in all over the world, particularly America. We are seeing this Epstein files. You know how many children were exploited. And even you see that's even in our society. In the ISKCON society, we have child protection team in every region, every what do you call the division. So what's their job? Or even in the temple level, there will be a child protection team, because uh, there should be no abuse to the children. There should be no, because when the child is abused, the child mentally suffers so much that they cannot, uh, you know, what I would say, they cannot grow up normally. If a child is exploited in the very young age, and what happens, um, when they grow up, the scar is still there. They can't be a normal. There will be anxiety, there will be fear, there will be anger. All these things still there in this child's heart. So that's why the child should be given protection. And women, of course, now though we are talking so much about equality, right? I'm not against the equality. I heard in one of the lectures of Prabhupada that Prabhupada said that women and the men, they both are important. It's not that the men are more important and the women are less important. Prabhupada says very clearly, both are very important, but they both are there to do certain functions in the society. For example, certain function what the man can do, the woman cannot do. A certain functions what the woman can do, the man cannot do. So that's why they both are important. And these modern what is it, the people, those who are calling for gender equality and all these things, basically they want the woman to come out of the protection of the men, so that the woman can be exploited. And Prabhupada writes in many places, of course, this may not be applicable to all the women, but Prabhupada writes in many places that the women are emotionally so much uh, attached. So even small emotions can affect them very badly. So they need protection. And how the protection? Most of you know that that when the child, the girl must be under the protection of the father, and when the child grows up, she was married, and then she was under the protection of the husband. And then when she becomes old, when the husband is not there, then she is under the protection of the son or son-in-law. So this is how a woman is given protection. Many people may ask why the woman has to be protected. Of course, this the society, why the government has to protect this, and there's so many arguments can be made, but the Manu Samhita, which we consider it as a authentic book, which is Prabhupada's quoting Manu Samhita, and also in many other places Prabhupada quotes many other scriptures. Why woman needs protection? Because the woman has to be under the protection of the man. It is not that she has to be like a slave. I'm not telling she has to be a slave to the man. She must be under, like it. For example, um, when the father is protecting the daughter, that means that the daughter is not a slave to the father. There's a love and affection, care they exchange. The mother, most, like many times we see in the Facebook and in the social media, the daughter and the father relationship is sometimes very great. They share a very great bond. So it is not that the father is treating the daughter like a servant. Oh, you are a daughter, you don't go to school, you study, you just wash the vessels at home, do the household works. No, that's not. The father means he must show love. He should protect with love and care. That is what is a father is supposed to. Similarly, when there is a husband, the woman is under the protection of the man, the husband, means there is a loving exchange between them. And particularly in Krishna consciousness, there's if the husband and the wife or in Krishna consciousness, there is a lot of chance that they both can progress very quickly and very nicely in Krishna consciousness. There is no point of no argument of, oh, this woman has to do wash the vessels, wash the clothes and maintain the house, clean the house. No, that is some activity which may be common for both husband and wife, but there is a loving exchange. So when there is a husband, when the wife is under the protection of the husband, there is no way a woman is exploited um, outside by any man. So that is why Prabhupada talks about this Varna Shankara. This is already spoken by by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita first chapter. So Arjuna says that Varna Shankara, if the men are killed, all the women in the tradition will become a widow, and when they become widow, that then means they will be exploited by other men, and then that will lead to Varna Shankara, and that is what is exactly happening right now in this modern world. Okay, so that is why these all are not something which is against women. We should understand how woman is treated and respected in this society, and how Prabhupada has given woman the great respect. Like I was reading Prabhupada's this book, The Dancing White Elephant by His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj. That book, Prabhupada, Giriraj Maharaj writes, Prabhupada was invited to the Kumbh Mela at that time, and then he was staying there in Prayagraj, and then he was getting invitation from every different organization to come and speak Katha. So that time Prabhupada was traveling. Sometimes you go by rickshaw, sometimes you go by car. But wherever Prabhupada was traveling, any woman disabled, particularly I think Yamuna Mataji was there with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada will take those, the disciples in the car with him, and he will tell the male disciples to come by walk, because they will send only one car. Prabhupada had so many disciples with him. So either they will find other alternative routes, other ways to come to the location. But Prabhupada will personally take care of the disciples who were with him, particularly the Matajis with him. And one time somebody started abusing one of the disciple. That is particularly because they were doing kirtan in the public, and then they were dancing. Some public, they were misbehaved something. Prabhupada immediately stopped the kirtan and he threw something at that person who's trying to touch the Mataji who was with the Prabhupada. So, you know, it's these all are like, we should understand women are respected, women are treated fairly, not abused, not exploited, but we should understand at the same time there is a different functions for the men and the women. Okay, so that's 22. Let's go to 22. Okay, here this talks about how King Agnidra was coming in a great dynasty, but still become very much attached to his wife Purvachitti. And how many years they lived? They lived for 100 million years together. Where somewhere I was reading before coming to this, I was just reading the summary of this chapter. He enjoyed with her for 100 million years, but still the desire is not satisfied. Always thinking of her. And what happened to him? Because he was thinking of Purvachitti all the time, he attained the planet, one of the heavenly planet, which is Pitraloka. Pitraloka is one of the heavenly planet where people enjoy great comfort, great pleasure, great comfort. What else? That whatever, like whatever that you enjoy. Like people want to go and live in certain countries. Because why? Because that has a better facility for enjoyment, better infrastructure, this and that. So these locales are like much more better than all these earthly planets. So there are so many people. Pitraloka is where that our Pitrus they go. There's so many people they do uh, particular pujas because they want to go to the Pitraloka. Karmis, they are karmis. They want to go to this Pitraloka and then they want to enjoy there. It is not that the forefathers are there that they want to go and live there because they know that Pitraloka has a greater enjoyment. They want to go there. And they are also realizing that the enjoyment what I am getting here in this material world is insignificant compared to the enjoyment in the Pitraloka. So that's why they were aiming for that. So as devotees, what we have to do? We have to understand that whether we go to the Swargaloka or Pitraloka or even to the Brahmaloka, okay, it's all temporary. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. What is it sloka? Anybody knows? 8.9.
ब्रह्मभुवनालोका पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुना मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते.
Yeah. So Krishna says, Arjuna, Brahma Bhuvana Loka, even if you go to the topmost planet, you have to come back here. You have to come back. But if you come to my planet, there is no question of coming down again. So devotees, we should understand that this is, this is very, very important. Two things we have to understand from this. If you want to go to any other planet, you have to come back, other than the eternal world of the Supreme Lord. And whatever you remember at the time of your death, you will become the same in your next life. That Krishna also says, Prabhupada writes in the but quoting this sloka from Bhagavad Gita, Ayam vapi smaran bhavam, tajante ante kalavaram, tam evaiti kaunteya, sada tad bhava. So, can somebody give some examples of this, in the Bhagavatam, from the Bhagavatam only?
Could you repeat the question, Prabhu?
Like somebody was thinking about something and they became the same in their next life.
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj.
Prachina Bari.
Yeah. Prachena Bari. Not Prachena Bari. That in that allegorical story, what is that name? the king, I forgot the name. The allegorical story which Narada tells.
Puranjana.
Huh?
Puranjana.
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 Puranjana, correct. The Puranjana, the allegorical story of Puranjana. Puranjana was thinking about his wife and then he became Puranjani in his next life. Bharat Maharaj was a great example that he was remembering, thinking about that, what is that?
Baby
The
deer.
deer. And then he became the deer in this next life. So, like this, so many examples we can see in the Bhagavatam, that how one is remembering something becomes the same in the next life. So that is why Krishna says that if you remember me, you will come back to me. Yeah, if you remember me, you will come back to me. So even Bhagavatam, it is confirmed. There's a sloka. Ethavan Sankhya Yogebhyam Swadharma Parinistaya Janmalabha Para Pumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. So what is the ultimate goal of everything? Any process that you do, whether you do Sankhya, Yoga, Swadharma means, the duties, the bodily duties, according to your Varna and Ashrama, bodily duties, whatever that you do, the goal is what? Ante Narayana Smriti. You should remember at the time of your death. Ante means at the time of your leaving the body. Narayana Smriti. You should remember the Lord Narayana. That is the ultimate goal of becoming perfected in your life. Whether you are practicing Sankhya or you are practicing yoga, or you are practicing your duty Swadharma, or even you doing devotional service. If you cannot remember the Lord at the time of the death, then Janma Labha Parapumsa. You are wasting the Janma Labha Parapumsa. That is, you have wasted the greatest profit of your human life. The greatest profit of human life is to remember the Lord at the time of your death. So, it's very difficult. It is very difficult to come to that stage, because people may think, okay, when I become 50, 40, or 60, when I finish all my duties, I will retire from my work and then I will take up to Krishna consciousness. But nobody can guarantee that that you can live such a long life. Nobody can guarantee that, because that's one good thing about Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj knows his death. He knows that he is going to die in 7 days. Katwang Maharaj knows that he is going to die in 48 minutes, one Muhurta time. They all perfected their life, knowing that. But we don't know when our death is going to strike us. The last 10-15 days only, like in my devotee circle, two people passed away. One Mataji, she's only 35 years old. No symptoms of any bodily problems. No disease. 35 years old. She has two young children. The relative of one of my devotee friend. She went to bed the night before. The next day morning, she did not wake up. Passed away. In Delhi. So another devotee, like one of my very close devotee, that Mataji, her husband, 59 years old, he passed away. Like, he went to the bathroom and he collapsed in the bathroom and finished. Means he did not have any slip and he fell down, nothing. He had a massive cardiac arrest and he passed away. So that's why I'm telling these things, because nobody knows when the death will strike us. So that's why we should follow the advice of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram Acharyat Prajna. One should practice from the very young age, Kaumaram, that's from the age of 5, one should practice Krishna consciousness. Because if you are waiting to do it later, it's very difficult, it's very difficult to uh, practice Krishna consciousness. If one comes, it's in Krishna consciousness, nothing is late. You can start now also. If you are 60 and you understood, oh, I wasted my life, you start now. It's okay. You can start now. Nothing, it's not late. It's never late to start a Krishna consciousness in your life. But the ideal thing is as soon as possible. Now, as soon as possible. So that's why the desires will never get fulfilled. If you ask somebody who is in their 70s, 80s, you ask them, who has nothing to do, they will be sitting at home, just watching TV the whole day, eating, sleeping. You ask them whether all your desires are fulfilled. They will still say no. Many desires are not fulfilled. They will still have more desires at the age of 70, 80. It doesn't mean you have to go and ask every single person who is next to you in the 70s and 80s. But you can, understand that even somebody who is in 70, 80s also will have desires. So it will never stop. So what we have to do, rather than wasting our time trying to fulfill this desire, which is like fueling the fire, it's better that we divert our desire to Krishna. Divert our desires, because desires will keep coming. Because if you only when you give up this body, there will be no desires. That also, like mind will carry your desires to the next body. So as long as you are here, you are living, there will be desires, because mind is a machine which produces desires. But what we have to do is to align these desires with Krishna's desire, so that we can perfect our life and we can go back home, back to Godhead. And on the way, you will see all this planet, how people are enjoying. But one should never become attracted to one of these planets. When when you're going to the spiritual world, you will see all these planets, how people are living, how opulent. When you read the descriptions of Indra's planet, the roads were made of gold. The roads are bedecked with the diamonds and ruby and emerald. But we should understand this all are nothing but illusion. We should try to have the simple life and high thinking, and remember Krishna at the time of that's your real test. That's your exam. Your exam comes, you may be a Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. You may have all the certificate and you have mastered all these things. I can recite 100 slokas in a moment. I know there's some 10,000 slokas I know. So many scholars are like that. I'm not talking just in ISKCON. There's so many other organizations also. There's so many people, they know so many slokas. But what is the use if we cannot practice Ante Narayana Smriti? So that is what is very, very important. So I'll stop here with that note. You can ask if you have any questions.
Padma Mataji, Hare
Question.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Padma Mataji will ask. Then Shobita Mataji.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Mother.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Now, in this text 22, where they say that planet which is called Pitraloka, where there is Pitras, the forefathers, live in great delight. So the Pitras stay there, enjoy, they stay permanently, or they again take birth, no, Prabhuji?
they will take birth. That's why I quoted Abrahma Pona Loka Punaravartina Arjuna. When
Yeah.
your credit is exhausted, I think this sloka comes in the Bhagavad Gita also. When you
Yes, when
like,
your
yeah, when your
punya
credit
comes.
is exhausted.
Yes.
So it
And
is
then they
not
come back.
like, okay, I do pious activity, I get plus credits, and then when I do negative credits, sorry, when I do impious activity or sinful activity, I get negative credits. It's not like a bank account or bank balance, or it's not like this thing, okay, this. It's not like share markets, oh, this profit, this shares are going up and this shares are going less, but still my profit is this much. No, it's not like that. Whatever the piety, the pious activity that you are doing, you will enjoy for that, and whatever the sinful act that you do, you have to suffer for that. So
Okay.
when your pious credits are finished, exhausted, you have to take birth again, according to your the balance that you have.
Okay, so every year, during this Pitra month, we give the food, like, to the Brahmanas, we feed them. So what is the meaning for that, Prabhuji?
Okay, so in this I heard it from somewhere, that, see, when in the heavenly planet, it is like 1 year for them is 1 day for us. That's what it's like this. So when you're on the tithi, when you feed them, when you give pindadan, that means you are feeding them. That means they are getting their meal 1 day. One meal you are giving them. Okay. And also sometimes what happens, they will not get a body. The soul which has passed away will not get a body. They have to suffer without a body, and it's so terrible. Bhagavatam narrates these things, that they will have they will have they will have a lot of hunger, but they cannot satisfy the hunger. So many sufferings also they go through. So that's why we do this, the Shraddha and this, that every year we do this function, so that the soul gets a body, a suitable body, and also they are fed until they get a body.
Okay, because Prabhuji, I heard in one lecture that when we feed the Pitras, at least once a year, during that time, during the Pitra Paksha, then they get food for the whole year.
Okay.
And then again, they wait for the next year, for the food to come. That's why,
Okay.
from a
So
senior
both are the
devotee, I
same.
heard that.
Like, for example, like our 1 day, sorry, our 1 year is equal to 1 day for them.
Okay, so that's
So
fine.
1 day you are feeding means that on the Pitra Paksha that you are feeding them on today, that means that means 1 day you are feeding one meal for them. Then when you do it for the next year, then it is like the next day for them.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Tanvat Pranams. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, we are hearing again and again that Antakale, whatever we are thinking, if we are thinking about Krishna only, then we can go to him, we can attain him. But then with other these leelas which we are hearing about the Bharat Maharaj, like he was doing wonderful bhakti, but then he falls. So how do we understand? In fact, we are hearing from the seniors and even Prabhupada that at the end, if you are not able to remember Krishna and you do the devotional service very sincerely, then Krishna remembers you. He helps you to remember him. But then, Prabhuji, these stories about these
Very
leelas about
contradictory.
yeah, yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. So first thing is, Bharat Maharaj's story reminds us, okay, the Maya attacks through all the ways. Okay. For example, Bharat Maharaj did not had anything else other than compassion. He had, because I heard this in some of the lecture, I'm just sharing this. So Bharat Maharaj did not had lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, nothing he had. He gave up everything. He gave the whole kingdom. He gave up the princely life. He gave up the wife. He gave up the royal opulences. And he was living. But only one thing he had was the compassion. So that Maya attacked him through that compassion, and because of that, he forgot the Lord. But the Lord was so kind to that, because he was such a great devotee. The Lord was so kind, because of the mercy of the Lord, when he became the deer in his next life, and even later when he became Jadabharat, he was able to remember his past lives. Like when he was a deer, he was remembering that he was a king in this life, in the previous life. He was a Bharat Maharaj, and how he fell down, how he was remembering, and how he was, forgot Krishna. So if you read, I think you must have read the story. So he was remembering only Krishna. He was associating with the devotees. He was not like an ordinary deer going around looking for food, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. He was sitting near the hermitage of the sages, hearing the katha, associating with the sage, and then he left his body. And then he became Jadabharat. And when he became Jadabharat, he was able to remember the Bharat, that is, he was a king Bharat, and also he was a deer Bharat. So he was very, very conscious. He was very, very careful in executing his task on a day to day. He was acting internally, he was always in great ecstasy in the remembrance of the Lord. But externally, he was acting like a madman. Madman. So that is the mercy of the Lord. Even though Bharat Maharaj fell, it's a lesson for us. See why we are reading all these things in the Bhagavatam. It is teaching us something, that even your practice for 40, 50, 60 years of Krishna consciousness, you may fall down. So you need to be very, very, very careful in your activities in the material world. So you need to understand this. For example, there's so many kings who were devotees. This Pururava, for example, was coming in such a great lineage. But when he became associated with Urvashi, he could not tolerate the separation of Urvashi. He becomes so much attached. And what lesson we are getting from this? When great personality like this can fall for a woman, what to speak of us? That means man means he has to be careful with woman. Woman means she has to be careful with the man. So the lesson what we are learning, that be careful with the opposite gender. Otherwise, it will bring disaster to your life in your Krishna consciousness. So that's why even if you forget Krishna, Krishna is so kind that he gives you the remembrance. That's one of the answer he gave to Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya asked one of the question, what if I cannot remember the Lord at the time of my death? Krishna told that Vardaraja Perumal answered that if you cannot remember, I will remember you. And that is only for pure devotees. Not that, okay, I do all the sinful act and the Lord will remember me. No. That ye tamam prapadyante tam sataiva jamiham. So Krishna reciprocates according to the level of your surrender. So how much you surrender, Krishna reciprocates to you to the level of that surrender. Okay. So that's what both the things are correct. Krishna, like if you are not careful, even from the bhava stage you can fall, but there's still chances that the Lord will give you the chance so that you can remember the Lord in your next life. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji, because Prabhuji, it's really scary to think that, because I myself is into so much of material attachment, the 10th name offense, and then thinking that if I may not be able to complete my bhakti in this very life, and then coming after a long time to earth again, then what will happen, Prabhuji? Still, the bhakti is so difficult. The sadhana is practicing bhakti in Kali Yuga is so difficult right now. What if I come after maybe 5,000 years back again? So what will happen then? So that gives me really scared. So
Okay.
that,
So you don't have to be scared. You remember the sloka from Bhagavad Gita? Okay. Can somebody quote this sloka?
Name Bhaktya Prashayati, Prabhuji. That one.
Todalpamapi asya dharmasya Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Okay? Comes in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Even if you do little endeavor in this, there is no loss. Okay? First thing, you have to try to perfect your life. If you know that you have so much attachment for certain things, you have so much desires, you have so much anarthas, you work on it. You try to avoid those things. You try to, not very, in a very aggressive way, because if you, I don't know what's your family, if your family is favorable for Krishna consciousness, then you convince the family that I need to work on these things. So I'm trying to avoid this. So you work on it. If your family is not favorable, then you slowly work on it. Don't show them that, okay, I'm completely detached from everything. Okay. Even because you are in a female body, you have to do your swadharma, the dharma of your body as a woman. So you slowly detach from things and work on it and pray to the Lord that, oh my dear Lord, please help me to overcome these things. Okay. And the Lord will send you or give you a test and try to pass this test. Let's say, for example, give me tolerance, my dear Lord. I want to be, because I get anger very quickly. And for me, particularly, I'm telling, I get anger little quickly. So I pray to the Lord, Lord, my dear Lord, please give me tolerance. And the moment I finish the prayer and come out, sometimes some situation will happen that provokes my anger so much. So that I understood, I understand certain times, it's Lord's testing, so I need to go through this. So like that, you work on it. Whatever that anartha that you have, you try to work on it, pray to the Lord, and very importantly, chant more. Whenever you get, chant more. Whenever you get time, hear Bhagavatam. So your anarthas will be naturally gone. So you don't have to be fearful, because the two things you have to remember, that Krishna told that even little endeavor in this path will give you the great profit, or it will remove the greatest fear that is coming after again 5,000 years, 10,000 years. Oh, I have to go through this. That fear is gone. Okay. Second, Krishna says to Arjuna that if somebody who cannot finish the Krishna consciousness in this very life, you will start again from where you left. For example, you did 50% this life. You don't have to start from number one from in your next life. You will start from the 51 in your next life. And then Krishna says this, that anybody who unfinished yogi, what happens to them? Either they get a birth in a devotee family, or they will get birth in a very aristocratic family, where they don't have to worry about the material and all these things. They will become nice devotees. Okay. So these are the things given in the Bhagavad Gita, given in the Shastras. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings that he wants to become a dog in the devotee's house. He is not afraid of becoming getting a next life. But he's praying, he's saying, even if I have to become a dog, I don't care, but I want to become a dog in a devotee's house. This is the mood of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So what to speak of us? So we should try to work on the anarthas. We have to, pray to the Lord and try to increase our sadhana, by which you can perfect your life. There's no doubt about it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I ask one short question? In
Yes,
the connection to that? Now, what I heard was we always get a second chance, if we don't succeed in our first life, right? Then we get a second chance. Second chance also, okay, we progress, but we don't progress that much. Then what happens?
You get another chance.
Okay, like that, you keep getting chances. This just for understanding.
Krishna knows, because these are a very complex question. I can't answer this, because Krishna says, like, first of all, okay, rather than talking about the next chance,
But if you're
I will tell you one thing.
if you're initiated also.
You maybe, I don't know what age you came connected with Krishna consciousness or with the devotees. You should think, okay, this is my second chance.
Okay.
this is my second chance. Okay, maybe I did something in my previous life. Because of that, I got the human body, and because of that, I got the association of the devotees, and because of that, I'm sitting and chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and I'm able to do devotional service. I think this is my second chance, and we should perfect our life. Try to perfect our life. If you cannot perfect, it's okay. The Lord will take care of that. But you should understand that this is my second chance and become serious and sincere about your Krishna consciousness.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. I think we are 15 minutes above the time. I'll stop here. Thank you so much for your enthusiastic participation, and thank you very much for wonderful questions that you all asked, because it helps me also to remember certain things, so that whatever that I am doing also can think, okay, what I'm doing in my life. So thank you all so much for your wonderful association, and any whatever that I spoke, it's all because of the mercy of Guru and Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. So thank you all very much for coming here and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. It is only for my own purification. So I pray to Sri Sri Radha Madhava and Ashtasaki Panchatattva Prahlad Narsingha that you all advance in your Krishna consciousness very nicely, and you all continue to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and hear again and again and develop the taste for Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for our blessings, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Those were, we needed those blessings.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful, simple
ki
class.
jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai.
jai.
Vancha
Yasya kripa sindhubhyev cha
patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
Vaishnava
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Srila Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam
ki
ki
jai. Hari
Hare
Hari
Prabhuji.
Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna,
much, Prabhu, for
Prabhuji.
your association. Can I end the class, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.